Alright guys, so we had just finished doing the standard deviation, and we learned that the bigger the standard deviation, the more spread out the data is, and it's fairly easy to tell. Um, I mean, it goes, 60 to 10, so that range right there is 50. And so this range is from 25 to 45. So that range is 20. And so that data is closer together. And so that's why that standard deviation would be smaller. All right. So imagine though, this only had 6 data points and they were pretty small and whole numbers and pretty. Though we have, a data set with 50 or 75, or 12 even, or 10. And it's decimals and you have to go through all this. And so all my work that I've done in the classes, the statistical classes that I've taken, we use some sort of program. We use a graphing calculator, we use Excel. I already started talking about this. We use something that helps us with that arithmetic piece of it. But you need to know how to analyze that data, what it all means. And so the main thing that I'm going to use in this class is a TI 83 or 84 calculator. I have several. Hang on, sorry. Should have this ready. I have several that I use. Excuse me. I have an 84 that I use. Silver dish. I've had that for 5 years or so. I just got this one. Dollar. I got it from a used Facebook like garage sale site. It was like $35. They're like 120 at Walmart or at the bookstore or whatever. So you need one, like really bad. If you don't have one, class is going to be super hard. You need one, and so you should get one off of Craigslist used. You should go to Walmart or Target if you want a brand new one. Borrow one from a friend. I'm not saying you need to spend the $120 to get the brand new calculator. I'm saying you need to get this calculator, okay? And we can hobble along for about a week, but after that, you totally need it. All right, so we're going to sit in a function called one variable stats. And if you don't know what the symbols mean, you're not going to be able to know, you're not going to be able to like analyze the data. All right. And so I got these pictures from this website just so nobody thought I was cheating. Okay, so we've learned X bar is the mean. Okay, I'm just going to highlight the things that are important to us. SX is the sample standard deviation. Sigma X is the population standard deviation. N is the sample size, how many things are in there. All right, then you have your minimum value, min X. You have Q1, we'll learn about that, this is the lower quartile. Median, it's called Q2 also. Is MED. Q3 is the upper quartile, we'll learn about that later, and then the max number, they'll tell you. All right, so some of the stuff, it will calculate it for you. It'll calculate mean for you. It'll calculate median for you. It's not going to calculate mode for you. So you just look at the data and see what number appears the most. It won't calculate range. So you just take your, minimum and maximum and subtract them. So there's a few things you have to calculate on your own, given this data, but it will greatly reduce, the headache you got just doing this problem for standard deviation and variance. All right. So I did this this survey, okay? And I want to find range, variance, standard deviation. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, all of these steps are in Blackboard in the calculator folder to help you out. There's videos that go slower, or you can just print out like a piece of paper that shows you step by step what to type on your calculator. I am, oh, how's it doing? Alright, so here we are in the let's use this one. I think, yeah, that won't be as a glare. Alright, I had done some math. Okay, so we're in stats. So we're gonna push stats. Alright, and it comes up with the stuff, and we're gonna edit and do some stuff. We're gonna push enter. Alright, this is where our data lives. Stuff, and we need to go to L1. I'm gonna go to the top of L1. Okay, and I'll push clear, and we'll clear my list. Don't push delete. I don't know how to get a new list back. Okay, just push clear. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and delete all my list while I'm here. Go to the top where the L number is highlighted. Push clear. Don't push delete. Don't you dare push delete. Alright. Alright, I'm going back. Okay, under L1, I'm going to type 4, 5, 5, 7, 11, 14, 26, 27, 150. Alright, so here's what I did. Find you. Alright, so I typed the number 8, push enter, type the number 11, push enter, type the number 14, push enter. Alright, and so they're all there. And so after I do that, I'm going to go to the home screen. So I'm going to push, it's all backwards on this camera. I'm going to push second quit, which is right there, second mode. Then I need to go back into stat. So we type the stuff in, but now I need to do some calculations. And so it's an intro class. We're going to do one variable stats. And then I'm going to push, I put it in list 1. And so to do list 1, I'm going to type second, and then the number 1, and an L1 will pop up. And then when I push enter, all my stuff is there. Like all that data. And so the median is 7.5. There's 12 numbers. The standard deviation is 39.1. The sample standard deviation is 40.8. X bar, which is the mean, is 22.6. So if you have that calculator, it works that way. If let me see. So in this calculator, that data, I put it in list 2. And so when I go to calculate, okay, I'm doing it backwards because I can't tell. Okay. When I go to calculate, come on, camera. Alright, I go here. Alright, and so it looks a little bit different. And so I need list 2. On this one, I put in list 2. So I'm going to put second number 2. Second number 2. I'm going to push enter. So I'll still get the same data. I was just showing you some of the calculators have a different not operating system, but just like it just looks a little different. All right, so we got standard deviation is sigma x, okay, and it is 39.1. The range we don't know, but it tells us that the max is 150. I mean, we can look at our data and tell, and then that our min was 4. and when we subtract it, we get our range is 146. All right, so variance, it doesn't tell us variance. So what we need to do is we need to take 39.1 dot and square it. Because remember, variance is sigma squared. And so on my calculator, I'm just going to write 39.1 squared. 39.1 times 39.1. And I get 1,628.81. And so I'm done. Alright, let's do the next problem. Alright, so now I have my data, 18, edit. I'm going to go ahead and type this in list 2. So I went to stat, edit, and then I pushed enter, and then I'm going to just put it in list 2 because I might need this data later. Excuse me. 18, 20, 20. Alright. See the calculator now. Self, I put it list 2. Alright, and then that. Backward, calculate, enter. And my stuff is in list 2, so I'm going to push second L2, second number 2. Alright, and so I got 22.1 is the mean. My standard deviation is 4.1. I got 4.1. My min 18, max 34. And so I can do 34 minus 18. I get 16 as my range. And then my variance, I'm going to take 4.1 squared. 4.1 squared. And I get 15.81. Alright, this data, notice that 4.1 is closer to 0. We're going to learn why 0 is the magic number later. But we get 4.1. So that means that the data is relatively close to each other. Versus over here, we got 39.1, which means A, the data could be way spread apart, or B, there's an outlier. We'll learn in another video how to calculate mathematically without just looking at it and saying, oh yeah, that's the outlier. It does us no good. Or B, there's an outlier that's skewing the data. Okay, and in this case, there's an outlier skewing the data versus, I'm so sorry, excuse me. Versus over here, when this data was really spread out, we got 17.1, and then this data was close together, and so we got a smaller standard deviation. Here, there was no I can mathematically show you, but there's no outlier, even though we got a bigger standard deviation. So a big standard deviation could mean the data is spread out, or maybe there's one or two outliers that are skewing it. All right, so we did those. Okay, I want to show you these couple of things. So these were the category things, and remember, these have orders. So if it was like first place, so many people, second place, so many people, or if it was something with order, okay, and it would be ordinal, okay, and you cannot do any of this, range, variance, standard deviation, because all of this, these two things right here, depend on mean. Remember, mean is x bar or mu, just like drunk cow. Meow, meow. It's funny if you think about it. Mean. And so you can't do mean on categories. And then this guy was also categories, but one's not better than the other, so it's normal. And so also that depends on the mean. And so you can't do that either. So this kind of information will deal with that interval ratio data, which is the data with numbers. All right, I'll see you in the next video when we look at standard deviation some more.